Alright guys, Eric here, and it's time for part 3 of the master bedroom modification project. In part 1, we changed 2 of these switches to dimmer switches. In part 2, we converted this recessed light to a chandelier or pendant light type fixture. Here in part 3, I'm going to be replacing these 2 vanity lights up here, and I'm going to do... in the water closet here, we're going to replace that light up there. Alright, now the light in the water closet is pretty much normal light installation. But I'm going to take you through all of it, and this will be the third and final part of the master bedroom bathroom modification project. Let's get started. First things first, whenever you're working with anything electrical, make sure the power is off to the outlets and the fixtures that you're going to be repairing or replacing lights or installing new lights on. Just make sure there's no live wires there. Check out my video for using a multimeter at home, and you can double check those wires, but just make sure the power is off before you touch anything. Okay, excuse the counter, it's a little bit messy. That's because I'm working in here. I'm going to show you guys what we're going to replace that water closet light with. We got this light here, and let's unwrap it real quick. Let's see. Got some screws, and it looks like a wiring harness. Let's see, let's unpack this. So we got this fixture, and it kind of matches the fixture that we put in above the bathtub, and that's by design. We've got this bracket that's already installed. I hope that's not going to cause us problems. I don't think it will. We've got our wires coming out here. We have a yellow and green ground wire, neutral and live wires. In this case, both of them are white, but they are clearly labeled, so that's very helpful. First thing is to take off this bracket so that we can mount this on the ceiling up there. But we're gonna have to remove the old light first, so let me just get this bracket off. Alright, here's the bracket. This is what we're gonna mount to the ceiling, and then this light will mount to that. Looks like we've got some plastic here that's wrapping up the crystals. We will just unwrap that, and we'll keep it on for now. Alright, we're going to put this light up. This is just like any other lighting install. Since we're replacing an existing light, we don't have to run any wire or anything, and it's just matching up wires up on the ceiling, but mounting the bracket first. This is a very simple bracket. Should be easy to go up. Either way, let's get up and start installing it. Okay guys, had to take a little break, but we're back, And I still need to do the vanity lights. It's dark now, but I've got the area lit with some battery operated lights. The power is still off here, obviously. I'm going to show you the new vanity lights that are going to go in. This is what we got. It's a big box, and here, let me put this over here. Excuse the mess that's on the counter. Alright, that's too bright. Okay. I'm kind of on a time crunch here, otherwise I would wait for daylight when it's a little brighter, but that's okay. Alright, so let's see what we're working with. Pull this out. Oh, look at this. This is cool. So, I got two of these fixtures, but it's always cool when they come with white gloves like this. When they're chrome fixtures and they have crystal and stuff like that, it's better to have the white gloves so you don't get smudges all over the chrome. Here's your standard screw kit with your wire nuts. This is by a company called Soft Art. And it says light is creation. I like their style of lighting anyway. So let's pull out the actual fixture here. These are dimmable LEDs. Look at that. So I got two of these, and let's see what we got for wiring and stuff. So feels nice and solid. Okay, it's attached to the back panel here. I gotta unscrew this. Now, what's gonna be difficult is screwing in these top screws into this back panel when the light is up there because it's so close to the ceiling. I'm not sure yet how I'm going to solve that. I don't know. Maybe I can ratchet it in if there's enough space. We'll see. So here's the mounting plate with the ground attached. And what do we got in here? Okay, yeah, we got our neutral and live wires right there. And yeah, that's about it. Pretty self-explanatory. This is what it'll look like. All right, let's remove the vanity fixture that's up there, and then we'll get this one mounted. Alright, now I'm going to have to take down that mounting plate because that's for the old light. Alright, so the next step is going to be putting up the new mounting plate. This has got 4 screw holes on it, and we're just going to throw those up there. We don't need the white gloves yet. I just gotta find the screw packet for the new light. These should look familiar to you at this point. This is what I'm going to use to mount the plate up there. Again, I'm going to drill some pilot holes. I'm going to put these little plastic fasteners in, and then I'll screw in these screws. You know what's a little strange is there's 4 screw holes on this, but they only gave me 3 screws and 3 fasteners. That's weird. I can mount it with 3, but I'm probably just going to add my own screw. I'd rather have 4 up there, it just makes it more secure. Alright, I've got all 4 screws in now. I can also screw the install plate to the conduit. So I'll go ahead and do that as well, just for added support. Although, with those 4 screws, it's pretty secure. Alright, now we just gotta match up wires. And we got to put our fixture up. This fixture doesn't have a hanging wire, so it's going to be a little bit tough to get it up there. And I don't have a lot of room up there either to do the top screws. Let me show you what I got here. So in order to get those top screws, I'm not going to be able to get my screwdriver in there because it's too close to the ceiling. So what I'm hoping, and I don't know if I have enough space for this, what I'm hoping is that I can use this. You see I've attached a Phillips head screwdriver bit to my ratchet. So it basically makes a horizontal screwdriver. And I only need that kind of gap in order to get in there. But I think that might even be too much. These screws I might end up just tightening by hand until I can get a better horizontal screwdriver. So we'll see what happens. Let's get it up there. This fixture is a little bit heavy. If you can, I recommend using 2 people to do this. Unfortunately right now I don't really have another person to help me out with this, so we're gonna try to do this, see how it goes. If it becomes too dangerous or too hard, I may have to wait until my wife is available and she can help me out. Okay. Alright, so all I'm doing is just like I did the other outlets, I'm just matching up wires and then putting wire nuts on those wires. Ground to ground, live to live, neutral to neutral. Alright, I got 2 of the wires connected. Last wire. Alright. Wires are all connected. Now we're just gonna see if we can get this up here. Just gotta move the wires out of the way. Supposed to be using the white gloves for this, but I'll just wipe down. Something's blocking it. What do we got here? What's blocking it? Oh, okay. So this is basically how it's going to be mounted. Alright, we're going to try to put in, these bottom screws because they're easy to get to. And they'll hold the light up until we can figure out what to do with those top screws. Yeah, I don't want to leave that hanging. Alright. So that's wired and that's up there, but those top screws are not in. It's not real stable. So I gotta figure out how I can put these top screws in. Alright guys, it's a new day and we're going to finish up the master bathroom. Thank you guys for continuing to watch, and thank you guys for watching the video until this point. I promised you guys that I was going to show you how I fixed the screw problem I ran into with the other light. I'm going to go ahead and show you now what I did in order to fix that. And then we're going to hang that last light. And then we'll be done with the master bathroom. Okay, so here's a light fixture that I haven't put up on the wall yet, and it's still got the back mounting plate attached, as you can see here. And you can also see that there are 2 screws. There's one here, one right there, and then on the other side, one here and one there in the same place. Now, the problem I was having is that the bottom screws I was able to get in right away because there's plenty of room. But if you look at how close this fixture is to the ceiling, the one we're replacing, and the new one over there, you'll see that it's really difficult to get to the screws that are going to be on top. There's actually less than an inch of space between the ceiling and the fixture itself. Now, I could have just mounted the new fixture lower and then left myself enough room to use a horizontal screwdriver to screw these into the top. The reason why I didn't do that is because the wall in the bathroom here from the old fixture has a little bit of paint damage. Unfortunately, we don't have this paint color, and I was a little bit lazy and I didn't want to go to the paint store, find the right color, and then repaint the entire thing. I just wanted the new fixture to cover up the old damage. Now, if you're doing this job yourself, you can mount it lower and it will make it easier. But I actually think the solution I figured out works great and doesn't lose any of the lighting strength integrity, and it covers up the damage perfectly. So I'm going to show you guys what I did. Some of you guys may have already figured this out, but it took me a couple minutes. Anyway, I'm going to take off the back mounting plate now. And I'll unscrew all 4 screws here. And let me just turn it over. Okay, so now I've got the back mounting plate out. So essentially what I did in order to fix this issue is, before I put the bottom screws in when it was up on the ceiling, I put the top screws in, but I put them in on the back plate from the inside going out. This leaves a little bit of the thread coming out now. I can actually do it now because I'm going to mount this plate up there. So I'll show you. So I just screwed these in actually the opposite way, just like that. So they're going from the inside out, and as you can see, it leaves a little bit of thread up here. Now, what that does, let me get the second one in. This is probably making a lot more sense to you guys now that you're seeing it. Okay, there we go. So I have both screws in now, and I put them in the opposite way, and the threads are up here. Now what this allows me to do is, since there's such a small space between the bracket and the ceiling itself, no one's gonna see the top. I mean, unless they happen to be 10 feet tall. So no one's gonna see the top, right? So it allows me to actually hang the light on top, just like that, and have the threads come through the fixture itself. This way, if the light tries to pull forward, it's stopped by these threads as if it were a peg type system. And then at the bottom, I can put the screws in normally and mount the fixture. This was the easiest way that I found to mount this fixture. There might be other ways to do it that are different and maybe more aesthetically pleasing, but this is the easiest way I found to do it, and this is the way I'm going to mount this fixture as well. I think it looks good. The light is still flush with the wall, and as I said, unless you're really, 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 really tall, and I'm talking taller than any human being, you're not going to see the top of this. So it looks great, and it's actually structurally sound as well. So all right, here we go. We're going to install the last fixture. All right, now that the old light is out, it's time to mount the new fixture. Alright guys, we are done with the master bathroom lighting project. We replaced some switches, some regular switches with some dimmer switches. We converted one recessed light into a normal chandelier or pendant light. We replaced the 2 lights over the 2 vanities, and we also replaced the light in the water closet there. I hope you guys have found these videos useful or helpful. Please feel free to ask me any questions if you've got questions about installation of these light fixtures or any other light fixtures for that matter. Thank you for joining me for these videos, and thank you for staying this long and watching these videos. Please join us next week when I'll have another project. And thank you once again for watching.